Hey Julian, great idea for new methods to add songs and clear files. I like them. I just want to walk through the clear files method that you wrote to make sure that you're clear about what's going on with that one, because I'm gonna stick a breakpoint in here and close this for a second and make a new music organizer, and I'm going to add the songs, and then I want to go into that clear. It works fine, but I just want to make sure you're clear about what's going on, because there's actually some extra code in here that you don't need. So I stop here at int 0. I'm gonna, int I equals 0. I'm gonna step here, so that made I equal to 0. I'm gonna check the number of files, and let's see, that should be 4, right? The size of files is going to be 4, and we can double check that actually if we go in and inspect, right? Right now, if we look at the array string files, we see it says, yeah, there's 4 elements, and it even names them all for you. So the first one is the One Dime Blues. Then we have the Matchbox, Early Morning, and Baby Please Don't Go. Okay, so if we take off the 0th element, we'll be taking away this One Dime Blues, right? So close, close, close. And let's just take another step here. So it says while I is less than the number of files, that should have been 4, right? Because we inspected, we saw that's 4. So 0 is less than 4. So we're going to say remove, and now I is equal to 0 at this point, right? So we're going to remove file 0. Step into that, and that's just checking to make sure 0 is a valid index, which it is. And then we say file remove 0. Okay. So we removed file 0. Let's just inspect here. So now we should have 3 files in here, right? Yep. Says there's 3. And we lost that first one that we had up there, the One Dime Blues or whatever. So now the next time, well, let's see what happens to I the next time. The next time, I'm predicting the next time we're going to pull the 0th item off again. We're going to pull off the Matchbox Blues and be left with these two, with Early Morning and Baby Please Don't Go will be the 2 that are left. So let's see if that's what happens. So I still have I equals 0 because I haven't incremented I inside my loop. So I'm going to remove file 0, right? And oh wait, yeah. Now I'm going to remove file 0. So now I'm removing file 0, right? If 0 is a valid index, I'm going to remove that. I hope I'm counting right. Let's see. Let's inspect before we go any further here. So now we're down to 2 elements, and yeah, we took off the 0th one. So we took off the Matchbox Blues or whatever. So now we just have these 2. So this is what I wanted you to be clear on, is that each time we're not changing the value of I inside the loop. I doesn't get changed until after you're done with the whole loop. So what's happening is every time we're removing file 0. Okay? So I go again through here and go again into here, and again, see, we've passed down an index of 0. And since we still have 2 items in there, that's going to be valid. That goes up. And we've removed that file, so now we should be down to just 1. Okay, but the one that we're left with is the one that was originally the very last on the list. Baby, please don't go. Okay, so what happens is every time you, all right, open this up again. Every time you pull something off of you remove the 0th element, all the other ones get filled in. In fact, that happens any time you take anything out of the array. It will always fill things in to so that with an array list, it'll always fill in so that you don't have any nulls except at the very end. Okay. All right. So now let's see. So now we're here, and then we remove file. And notice still we have int I is still equal to 0 because we haven't changed it at all. Then we remove that file. We're going to remove the last one. Now what happens? Well, now I is 0, but there aren't any files left in the collection. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if that's where we are. So if I inspect now, look at that. There are no files left. Okay, we have all null. Okay. So now this is going to be false, right? Because 0 is not less than 0. So if we step through here, now we're going to the I++. See, int I is still 0 at this point, and then we run this line, I++, and I becomes 1. So I just want to be clear that this is really not doing anything, this I right here. So I'm going to terminate this, and I'm going to suggest a couple alternatives here. So in general, you know, because you're, well, in this case, because you're always pulling the first guy off of your list, you're essentially doing this. Let me just okay, and that's going to do exactly the same thing. So if I make a new music organizer and I add the songs, well, let me just make sure that the songs are in there. Inspect. Okay, so we have our 4 songs in there. And now I'm going to say clear files and inspect again, and now there are no files in there. Okay, so that basically did the same thing. Okay, now again, this works in this case, but in general it's not a good idea to modify an array list inside a loop. What I would do with this is, if I wanted to clear the files, I just say files equals new array list of strings. And then it's just a new empty list. If you were programming in something like C, you would have to worry about, you know, clearing out the memory, because there's still some memory allocated for the old array list. We've just assigned the reference pointer to this new array list. But in Java, that kind of housekeeping, generally, certainly not for this class, you don't have to worry about. There are mechanisms inside of Java for automatically cleaning that stuff up that work absolutely fine for the purposes of this course. So actually, this is how I would do the clear files. And then let's just test it and make sure. Do add songs and inspect. And now 4 songs are there. And then if we say clear files and inspect, we still have an array list, but now it's empty. So we could still do add songs again and have all 4 of those songs back. Everything's cool. Okay, so that's my only suggestion as far as that clear files is. I would just, reinitialize it to a new array list. But again, I really like the ideas of doing the add song and the clear file, and I'm looking forward to checking out what you did with Music Player.